Here's an update on our side loader. So a while ago I bumped into it and cracked the little hook here on this one. So I was able to re-glue that one. So that's staying in there okay. But then today the one on this side cracked, not because I bumped it, just because it was getting weak. So for this last print I was propping up this side with this. So we're going to be reprinting these and redesigning them so they're stronger. So here's this little hook here. So that the distance between here and here at the apex of the hook is where the most stress is, and that's a very thin piece of plastic. So it would have been better if the design had pulled this slope out a lot farther, made this thicker. So we're going to do a quick and dirty fix to this design. The guy who posted it on Thingiverse didn't post any CAD files, just the STL. So we'll just be modifying that using 3D Builder and make it stronger for the short term. In the long term, I have a much better idea about how to do this side mount. Since we're going to be printing as most as possible with 1 kilogram reels, we need this to be solid and not breaking on us. So that's the next project, and then we'll go on to our regular printing. So here's our part. It hangs off the side of the printer, as you've seen. So we're going to do a quick and dirty fix on this to make it a little bit stronger. The weak point is right here. This little area here has all the stress on it. So this part, you know, it's a cool part, but if you put this a much longer web on this side, it would be a lot stronger. So I don't know why he did it like that. Save material, I'm not sure, but in any case, we need to fix that. So the simple thing to do would be to just increase the width like that. And that's fine, except now this indent here is too wide because the axle has an indentation that's only 5 millimeters wide. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave it like that for a second. Then we're going to insert a cube. And we're going to make the cube 120 in all directions. And then we're going to change the thickness to just 10. And then we're going to drag this down, drag it over, drag it down so it touches. See, it'll lock into place there. So now it's touching the top of the other part. And you can see that this part is exposed and the rest of it is covered up. So now we're going to go back to the part itself, and we're going to change the width to 7.5. Okay, and then we can subtract the cube. It's not really a cube anymore, but subtract the cube from this part, and oops, we did not touch that. Yeah. And now we've got this. So now this is 5 millimeters again, and this is 7.5 over here. So that'll automatically make this stronger because it's thicker. But I have some ideas to make a much better design. I will work on that later. But so we have this little perpendicular thing here. So we want to put a slope in here. So let's see if we can get another cube and do that. Okay, we want to slope this little drop off here so it prints more strongly. So we're going to add another cube, and we're going to change the pitch to 45. That'll get us going in the right direction. And we'll change the size to 2.5 in all directions to start with. And then we're going to change the Y to about 50. Doesn't really matter. Then we're going to move this up. And we're going to slide it over. And we've got to get it so that the angle on this thing, the point, just touches the part. For some reason it doesn't click at that point. Just have to eyeball it. That looks pretty good. Then we need to come over here and get the point right at the drop off there, the base of the drop off. Looks like it's a little bit high. Move it down a little bit.
Still, it's not far enough to the right. Okay. All right, that looks pretty good. Now we'll subtract, and we should have a nice little slope here. It looks like we missed a little bit, so we'll try it again. It needs to go down slightly. Try subtracting again. A little bit more. That's a little bit too much. Let's try that. I think that's a little too low. That looks good. Good enough for government work. All right, so now we have a stronger joint here. Whoops, don't want to do that. Stronger joint, and we have the same 5mm thickness over here. So we'll save that. Now we want to save it as the mirror, because we want to have one for each side. So there's a mirror function. You can do object mirror, and that will mirror it so that when we'll have this little indentation thing on the outside of the reel on both sides. So this will be the mirror image version. All right, so we just need to print that up, and we'll be back printing with big reels again safely. Okay, we're ready to go. We're ready to print our new arms that are going to be stronger. This area will be 50% thicker. And we've got our jury rig set up here. So we've got our wood brace on this side, because this side is weak. The glue didn't really take on that side. I'm using my silver HQA PETG. That's one of the first I think it's the first PETG I bought. But unfortunately, HQA stopped making filament, so I'm not buying it anymore, obviously. All right, let's go to the time lapse and see how it comes out. Let's see how it turned out. Looks pretty good. I think 80-degree bed temperature worked well to keep it solidly on the bed. A teeny bit of stringing here and there, but that doesn't really matter for this part. Well, we did lose some. 80 degrees was too hot. Yeah, okay. For this part, it doesn't matter. We end up stripping off some of the base of it, so that's okay. But you can see this is very thick now. So here's the little weak point right in this little corner here. So we're going to compare that to the one that's on there now and see how this one is better. So I'll get the other one off and clean this up, and then we'll try it on the printer itself and see how it turns out. Okay, well, we dodged a bullet because we were able to print these new ones just before the old ones completely gave out. You can see this cracked right here. So that little joint there is just too narrow. This little joint right here. It's just too narrow for this width anyway. So the width down here is the same. But up here we beefed it up by making it thicker. So this should work a lot better. Like I said, I have an idea for a much better design that'll actually bolt onto this. I saw something on Thingiverse that replaced this whole piece here with a bolt-on system. That'd be a lot stronger, although this seems pretty strong now. So of course the other ones seemed okay when I started too, but this is definitely feels more substantial than this. So So it's HQA, PETG did a good job of this. Again, the HQA is not selling this anymore, but PETG in general, I think is a good alternative to ABS. This became a little bit brittle. In fact, when I knocked it off, this rod broke too. I glued that. So this is one of the first things I printed. I probably could have printed it with more infill or something, more solid layers, something like that. So, you know, this was early on in my learning process. But I think we're good to go for now, and we're off to print some more Mandalorian coins. Looks like it turned out excellent. Out of the way. Nice solid structure. Good bed adhesion. Also a little teeny bit on the bottom. It's not going to affect us. Seems strong. I'm not going to push it too hard. Shouldn't have much stress on it. Just have to hold up the weight of a reel, so let's try it out. All right, here's the existing reel with the existing axle. So we're going to take rid of that. I'm going to put this one in. Hold on. Get a little closer together. And we still have a little bit of play here, so we're going to want to use these spacers. That's okay. Alright, so this PETG is nice and slippery, so I should have no problem rotating on this. But we're going to want to use, even though I printed the smaller ones, it's about 10 millimeters less than this. It's still a little bit too wide, at least for this reel, so we're going to have to use the spacers on here. That's no big deal. Okay, that's a call it a success.
If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Post a comment if you have any questions or ideas, and I'll try to respond. That's all for now, but more videos are coming, and if you want to see them, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification icon if you don't want to miss one. This is Beta Cygni signing out, and keep looking up.